Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was done using Loren Sherman's script, which uses a combination of dots and lines on these 4 different stems to make our consonants, and vowels are a bit trickier. They're smaller circles, and they have different positions depending upon what vowel they are and if they're attached on one of these 4 stems. So this is an E by itself, this is a B E because this is a B stem, this is a J E because this is a J stem, this is a T E because this is a T stem, and this is a T H E. So anyway, and then punctuation is on the line of a sentence circle, which is kind of tricky because I set this one up differently. Normally the script is read bottom counterclockwise, and a sentence circle that's just a full double circle around the whole sentence. But this one's set up linearly, and the sentence circles I have broken up, kind of collecting certain things. So anyway, that's how I set this one up. I set it up left to right because if you imagine an infinitely large circle, the bottom of it would start at a position and then going counterclockwise of it would simply be going to the right. So starting at the left and going to the right before it curved up. So now here's our first word, and here is the bottom of our word circle. Also, this design is quite tricky. I did a lot of things in it, so bear with me. But here's our first word. Here's the bottom of it, and here's our first stem. So this stem is a deep divot, so it's in this row, and it has a line passing through it, but lines that pass through do not count, only lines that end count. So this one has no modifier, so that's a B. Continuing on, here's a small circle, so it's a vowel, and it's got a line going towards the middle, so that is an I. And then we have a shallow divot in this row with nothing modifying it again because that line passes through, so that's a T. And then another I. Here we have a circle on the line of the word circle, so like this. And there are tricksy lines ending on it because they make circles themselves. So this circle has 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines ending on it. So that makes it an NG. And then we have this apostrophe, which is a double line here. So 1, 2 lines, 1, 2 lines. And then we connect up to a sentence circle, but I have them fade out because there's no sentence circle for them to connect to. So anyway, here we have our next letter, because here's the apostrophe, and then we have this shallow divot here with 1, 2, 3 lines ending on it, so that is an S. So bitings, and then we have our next word, bottom of it. Here we have another E. Well, this is our first E, but it's like an I, except without the line. So if this is an E, that's an I. This is an E, those are I's. So E, continuing around, here's another circle on the line of the word circle. So it's in this row, and we count up the lines that end on it. 1, 2. So that is an X. Then we have this. It's a shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 lines. And this word is exceptional. And you're like, why is there an S in the word exceptional? That's because in this script, you replace the letter C with a K or an S in non-proper nouns or non-acronyms because you do. So this this C in exceptional makes the S sound, so exceptional. So we have the 1, 2, 3 lines making that an S. Here's the, no, excellent. Biting's excellent because here's an E and then a double L. Forgive that. I'm just going to keep going. So anyway, S, E, and this is not a P. This is a double L. 1, 2, 3 dots on a circle inside the circle. Okay, so let me go to this. So 2 lines means it's a double letter. And because the letters are the same thickness, they're the same letter. So 1, 2 lines of the same letter means that these 3 modifiers all count towards it. So that is a double L, E, since it's a circle inside those stems. So like that. So we have that double L and the E, double L, E, and then we have an N, circle inside the word circle. So it's in this row with 1 line, makes that an N. And then we have this last stem here, and it has no modifiers, so that is a T. So biting's excellent. And then this and this appear at the same position-ish. I kind of cheese it because I couldn't figure out where to put the first period in, but this is that first period on the sentence circle. So biting's excellent period. This is it's kind of here. Anyway, and then we have our next word. Bottom here we have an I, because this line is coming out towards the middle. If it came out towards the outside of the word circle, that would be a U. But because it comes out towards the inside of the word circle, that is an I. So I, T. Then we have another apostrophe, just like this apostrophe. I, T, apostrophe. And this isn't a word circle, so it's okay that they end there. Then we have this 1, 2, 3 line S. So it's L, 1, 2, 3 dots on a circle inside the circle. 3 dots, circle inside the circle. I, line going towards the middle. Continuing around. Here we have a tricky thing. So this dot is closest to this stem, so it belongs here. This stem has 1, 2 dots, so 2 dots, circle inside the circle, K, and then an E because this is inside the word circle. And normally an E wouldn't be touching the edge, but in this design I have the dots and little things all touching because this is going to be a decal, and I don't want it to be peeled up and for something to be left behind. So that's why I have this little thing touching here. So everything is touching except for this. This is the only separate piece, but it's pretty big, so it'll be fine. So yeah. I considered having this piece be separate from this piece just to have it, be different, but then you'd have to line it up and that would be hard. So I have them all connected, except for here. Anyway, back to like. L, 3 dots here, I, 2 dots, K, E, like. Then here's our next word, bottom of it. Here's our first letter. This is actually the word circle. This is just lines coming from the NG. This is the first letter, bottom of the word circle right here. 2 dots, that's another K. I, 1, 2, 3 lines. We know what S's are by now. Continuing around, 1 and 2, 3 lines. Another shallow divot, S, I, and then we have 1, 2, 3 lines coming out from a circle inside the circle. So that's an NG, so kissing. And then we have this punctuation. Here we have 1, 2, 3 lines on this stem. So that makes it a hyphen. So 1, 2, 3 lines. This is some kind of trickery happening here because these 1, 2 lines are the apostrophe on this word, which is theirs. Anyway, here's the next word, bottom. Here's a little circle. It's inside the word circle, so that's an O. Then we have an N, 1 line N, just like an N, this N. N, continue on 1, 2, 3 dots on the L, and then 1, 2 dots on the Y, because 3 dots L, 2 dots Y. It only. Then we have this word, bottom. Here's our first stem. Let's see what ends on it. So this one doesn't end on it. This one doesn't end on it. This one doesn't end on it. Nothing ends on it. So that's just a T. Then we have a deep divot. So in this row with nope. 1, 2, nope. So just 2 lines, just those thick ones end on it. So that is an H. Then we have an E, because hang out inside the word circle. So they don't have to be directly centered, but as soon as they get where you can't tell if it's inside the word or outside the word, it's bad because you can't tell if it's an E or an A. So yeah, this one is clearly inside the word. So that is an E. So H-E. And then we have this shallow divot with this line doesn't end on it, but there are 3 dots closer to it than anything else. So that makes it an R. And then we have an E hanging out. So this one's also tricky too, putting an E on a T stem, because let's take a look at this. This is the line of the word circle. If the E is inside that line or on it, it is an E. If it is outside the line, then it is an A. So if it's centered towards the middle, it is an E. If it's centered towards the outside, it is an A. And this one is centered towards the inside or in the middle, because it's actually right on the middle. But anyway, so R-E, and then we have that apostrophe. And then we have 1, 2, 3 lines, an S, so theirs. Here's our next word. Big word circle with nothing except an A, because this word is Then here's our last word, bottom. 1, 2 lines end on it, so that is a 2-line W. Then we have another I. Yeah, the lines can curve, so this is just a little curvy line hanging out, so I. Then we have another double line, and these 2 lines are the same, so it's the same letter. So both of these letters are an N because it's got 1 line on it, just like this N. So NN, and then we have an E hanging out right in the middle of that. And then we have this shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 dots and no lines ending on it. So that is an R. So only there's a winner, and then here's that sentence, that place to put your punctuation on, and it is a period. So I think I did an okay job of trying to sneak the punctuation in here, and I think it looks really awesome. So yeah. Going through it again. Biting's excellent. It's like kissing, only there's a winner. Let me go through it again with the punctuation. Biting apostrophe S, excellent, period. It's with apostrophe S, like kissing, hyphen, only there's apostrophe S, a winner, period.